Hello and welcome to the Target Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be playing the game Timberborn. Now I've done a few videos on this game in the past. It's been out, I would say, a little over a year, and it's still in early access. The developers are still doing updates. You'll see update 4 here. Today's video, this game right now on the Steam store is only $20. You'll get your $20 worth out of it. It's a city builder type game, but you're using beavers instead of people. They're beavers. Now, what I want to do today is create a new map. Now, what I like about the game is it has 2 factions. I'm hoping that one day they come out with a 3rd faction. The first faction, you've got to play that before you can play the Iron Teeth faction. You've got to play, if you're new to the game, you've got to play this faction first and get their happiness up to 15. Once you get their happiness up to 15, it unlocks this faction, and then you can play this faction. This faction here, this one here, the lighter beaver, is more of a environmentally conscious race, whereas the Iron Teeth are not. They're more industrial. I like playing the Iron Teeth. That's my preferable faction to play. I usually play those every time. It's just fun to play. But I'm just going to go back. Actually, I'm going to go back into what I'm going to pick this faction. I just wanted to show you here at this screen that they give you pre-made scenarios, pre-made maps that you can play. And there's a bunch of them here. And then here, it starts my custom maps. That's what I like about this game, is you can create a custom map. So you can just play whatever you want without having to be pigeonholed into what they've made. And that's what this video is about today, is let's just make a custom map. I just want to show you how easy it is to create a new map. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one kind of big. I think 250, I'm going to do 200 by 200. That's a pretty good size map. And then what it's going to do is it's going to bring the editor up. And it's really easy to edit this map. So this is the board. And you can see that it's like 5 deep, or yeah, it looks like it starts off with 5 deep on the dirt. And if you click this icon here, terrain height, and click on that, it starts it into 3x1. And if I zoom in here and click, you'll see that this thing, what it does is it erases the terrain. See how it just gets rid of the terrain so that you could fill this with water if that's what you wanted to do. It just allows you to lower the terrain. This icon here allows you to increase the terrain. Like that. And then you could go in there and hollow that out if that's what you want to do. Now, one of the things that, I wanted to make sure that side stayed up. So one of the things you want to, and you can change this, one of the things you want to do with this game is you have to have a water source. I'm just doing one block at a time here. Your beavers need to be able to drink water. All right, so there we go. Put that wall back. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my water source, I'm going to put 3 of them at the bottom of this. And then I'm going to hit play. Up here at the top, you hit play. And what it does is it basically allows for the water source, the trees, the grow, whatever you put on the map. It's like playing the game, but in the editing mode. And as you can see, as that water rises in that hole, everything else around us becomes green. So now you'll see that I've got water going everywhere. I'm flooding the map. So when you're creating these water holes, what you want to do is you need to get the water to go somewhere where it's not going to flood the map. The first thing I'm going to do is delete this so that the water now flows in here. And then I'm going to go this way. So now, see, I'm flooding the map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way because I got to discharge the water somewhere. And because I made the map so big, I gotta wait. Okay, so I'm gonna discharge it off the edge of the map. So watch this. So now I'm not flooding anymore because all the water is just flying off the map here. And so let me just get back up here. To stop the flooding occurring, that's how you do it. Now, what I want to do is I want to raise this back up so that the inner... Oh, I went too high, so I'm now going to have to delete it again. Yeah, that's a problem. Whoop. There's a problem when you're doing this is it does it all, and then you've got to singly bring it back up. It just don't go all the way to the top like I did. Yeah. Oh, I did it again. Look at that. I did it again. Well, you know what? I'll just rise this outer one here. All right, there we go. So that stops the flooding. That should stop the flooding from going on this side because now the water is coming down this little hole that I've got here and it's filling into this basin here. And see, because this thing is so high, it is providing green, luscious areas for you to farm and do whatnot. You see that I'm still getting a little flooding. It's because the 3 outtakes of the water source is making more volume than this. So what I think I'm going to have to do is go here and get rid of that so that the hole is bigger. So now the hole is now too wide, and now that should stop the flooding on the edges. On this end, we want to come up. Yeah, so we want to come up to there. So now the water will get almost to the edge and then come off the map. So this way, now you'll see I've got luscious green going around this lake I've created, this Upper Valley Lake, down here. Now, what's nice with this game is the 2 factions. The first faction, the environmental faction, has water towers that allow you to basically move water to these areas which are dry so you get more planting. But what's nice is you can do levees and whatnot and create water dumps to do the same thing with the second faction, because the Iron Tooth faction, the second faction, the industrial faction don't have those water towers. So people feel that they're limited to this green area with that faction because they've got no way to move water to the grayer areas. But we'll see. You can do that by making levees in the game. So we're going to need to start where the starting location is. And I'm just going to put the starting location here. And then what we're also going to need is a food source early on. So we go to the trees here, this icon trees, and we want to unclick all this. We want the blueberries because those are your beginning, and you want to mature. And because those are your beginning food. That's what you start off with. So you want at least four squares of that early on. You'll be able to create your own food moving forward when you start playing the game. So now we go to, let's go to oak mature and put some oak trees because you're going to need trees. And the trees don't need to be on gray or on green. They can be on this dead area. They're just dead trees. You can still harvest them in the game to do that. Now, if I move them to green, you'll see that they turn green. They're alive, but all these are dead. All right. So I created a little bit of area. I don't want to make this map too easy. I created a little area of trees. I created my first food source. That's really what you need. And you got to remember, you got to put metal ruins down. I usually go with the tallest ones here and just put a few down. This is your end game resource, so just make sure that you've got plenty of it on your map when you create it. Now the maps that are pre-designed for the game, they have them all over the place. And also put a couple ruins in too, because I believe with the ruins is those are forever. You put a building on that, and you'll mine the metal forever out of that. But this stuff here, you'll use this up, just like tree resources. You'll gobble those up. So I think I've got everything I think I need to really to make this scenario work. So let's get on it. So let's do a save as, and we're going to call this one the pit, because it really is this water source here. I just gonna call it the pit. Hit save. Then I'm going to exit the editor. Hit yes. I'm going to go to new game. I'm going to choose this faction. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to go down to the custom maps that I've created. I've created a lot of custom maps. That's what I really like about this game, is the custom. I'll just leave it on normal setting, you know, for the what you get is a droughts. So the water source gets used up, and you go into a drought phase in this game, and that's what makes it tough. Is you run out of water occasionally if you don't manage the water source correctly. So now it's going to ask me. I'm just going to call it the pit here, just the game, and going to hit OK. So for this faction, they start you off with 8 adults and 4 children, and you have to create paths in this game from this door here. If you don't have a path going to this door, the district is not connected. So one of the things you're going to need to do is create a get a water source. Deep water pump is what we need. So we're going to put that in over here. And so I'm just going to put it here. Now for that deep water pump to be built, we're going to need to get some lumber. So we're going to extend this here. Going to go this far, and then I'm just going to, what's nice about the road is it doesn't cost you resources. You just put the road in. So we're going to go to wood, the wood icon here, and then we're going to go to lumberjack flag, and then I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one there. Now, one of the things you need to do is tell them which trees you want them to cut. So you go to the cut tree icon here at the bottom, and you highlight, I want them to cut them all, because I'm going to need a lot of lumber to get started. So now we've got the water, we got the trees. Now we're going to need the food. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this here, and you'll see that some of the berries are available. So we go to the food icon, and then we tell it, you know, we want a gathering, and you hit the R to rotate assets when you go to lay them down so that they're facing the right road. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put that there. So there are going to be 2 people gathering this food source. I've got 1 water source, and I've got 2 people gathering. Now up here at the top with the day cycle here up the upper right, you can now put it in fast forward. You can put it in the fast speed. And that's what I run the game, is a triple fast speed. Let them do their thing. So now they're going to start collecting. Now what I was saying before is when it comes to the water, you can go to landscaping, and you're going to need to unlock the levee. Once you unlock that through the tech tree, you make a square of a levee, and then what you do is you put one of these water pumps on top of it. And what that does is a water pump dumps it into the little square levee, and that will cause the area to be green. So you're always dumping water into the levee. Now we're also going to need, and I might get to that before we close this video, we're going to also have to make some housing. So I'm just going to go with the generic barracks. These require technology points to unlock. So we're just going to go to the basic housing. Now I'm just going to put the housing on this road here. Just rotate the building so that it's connected to the road. And to build these houses, it's going to require the lumber that the guys are getting, or the little beavers are getting. Now under the main building here, your city center, you've got 2 builders. Now you can increase that if you want to 4 builders, and I suggest that early on, because you only start off with 9 beavers. Now to get more beavers with this faction, you have to do a breeding pod. So you will have to put one of those down. And I'm going to put one here because one of the main things and I'm going to put one here. So I've got 2 that I've put in here. One of the main ingredients for the breeding pod to work is the berries, the water and the berries. And what happens is you breed your new generation of beavers through these breeding pods. So right now we've got little to no water, so I'm going to put another water depot down. And then what I'm going to do is go to storage, which is this icon here. I want to, and again, you get different storages, things that you can unlock, the bigger barrels when you get the tech up. But I'm going to need to do the small one here, and I'm just going to put it right here. So I'm going to tell it to build me a water holding thing, and you need to go to the question mark and tell it what product you want that storage to hold, and I want it to hold water. They added that to the game a few months ago. Before, it used to, you put one of these down, it just held water. But now they've added other things to the game that those will hold, like maple syrup and biofuels and stuff like that. So we've got 2 of the houses built. Right now it says that we've got 8 free beds. So right now nobody's homeless right now because I've got 8 beds. Now more than that. Now I've got 18. And as this next one, I'll have more room. Well, the only way to start filling the beds is through these breeding pods. Now the first faction, the environmentally conscious faction, they just breed naturally depending on your housing. So if you build a bunch of houses, they'll breed to fill them. With this faction, you've got to actually breed your next generation through these breeding pods. All right. So they finished the housing. We're still getting that. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is get our science points up so that we can start unlocking stuff. That's this icon here, science. Go to inventor and just put the inventor down. And then what you can do is you can prioritize its build by clicking on the build. You can go up here and you can tell it, I want that to be prioritized build. Don't build anything else, but build the inventor. And then you can prioritize the workspace so that there's always a beaver in that building. Just be cautious that you know there are things like your priorities. You should always have somebody in the gathering shack. So prioritize that. Give that a high priority. Same thing with this one. Give it a high priority. This way you always have beavers in those 2 things. Also, you want to prioritize your water because you always want beavers in. What's going to happen is you'll make more locations than you've got workers. So in some cases you can minimize the amount of builders you've got. Say just reduce the 2 builders to only 2. That freed up 2 spots, but I don't really need those 2 spots currently. Well, actually, I can do the. I can start making planks. So I'll use those 2 freed up to build some planks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the power wheel. It looks like a hamster wheel. Now, they have a large water wheel and a small water wheel. I usually, early on, do the power wheel where it's like the hamster kind of thing. The beaver just runs in it and produces power. And then I need a building called the lumber mill to make my planks. And it's got to be connected. You'll see, I'll have to turn it around here. You connect it to the wheel. So the wheel has 2 sides, the road side, and then the other side is the connector side. Now you can use power lines to connect. If I didn't want to directly connect it to the building, I can do other power things to do that. But to make it simple, there we go. And we're going to need the planks to build anything, to build some neat things in the future. So right now we've got 12 adult beavers. We've got 3 open beavers not doing anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 more beaver to the builders. So that leaves me with when I highlight this up here at the upper left, it tells me I've got 2 beavers that are unemployed. But those 2 beavers are going to be needed for this. So right now I got a beaver that went into the power wheel. So now the power wheel's turning, so it's creating power. That's creating 50 power. As long as the beaver is running in that thing, it does 50 power. Now this building requires 75 power. So this building's not going to work at 100% efficiency because it's only getting 52 out of 75 sent to it. So for us to get the max out of this building, we'll have to create another power wheel, but we don't have the labor to do it right now because we're going through day cycles. As you can see that we're going through day cycles, and then they go to sleep at night and they get up in the morning. Now you can change up here at the upper left, you can change the duration of the day. Like 16-hour workday, 15-hour workday. It defaults to 16-hour workday. You probably want to leave it on that until you start getting things more automated and you create robots. With this faction, you can do robots. They'll do your work for you instead of having the beavers do them. You can get robots. That's really down the tech tree quite a bit. So what we want to do is, I think what we want to do next is we're going to need to unlock this tower here called the Forester. It's going to require 60 science. We're at 47. The Forester allows you to plant more trees. And as you can see, I only created a small portion of trees. So I'm going to need to create more trees, grow more trees, and that's what the Forester does. And then, like I said, if we want to unlock the Levy, that's 120. But eventually we're going to need to unlock that because, again, we're going to need this land to grow crops. But for now, we got plenty of berries. I probably should do a farm just to have a farm going and things planted. So let's get this road to go down here. And let's put a farm in. That's under food. It's called farmhouse. It's got to be connected to the road. So you got to connect it to the road like this. And there's the farmhouse. It's got to get built, and then you get a farmer in there. Then you've got to tell it what crops you want to plant. And what we want to plant is this Kazazva, butchering that. It's the second one in. This one here doesn't require refining it, so you can just directly eat it, but it's not that good. It doesn't last that long. This one here that I'm choosing, you have to ferment it, or you've got to process it in a way for the guys to eat it, but you get more bang for your buck. So we're just going to tell that farm to grow those. And then when we go to food, this fermenter is what we need to build for that to work. So what we're going to do, or to be able to eat those, so what we're going to do is we're going to create these, and this requires 50 power. So we have to put them in with a power wheel. And you got to connect the road to the power wheel. So now when I've got enough people, well, I've got farmer, once the farmers fill the farmer fills this place, I should prioritize this to get it going. So I just prioritize that. I don't know where they would have taken the people out of. Let's just see, because that's priority. So it's going to probably be, it's going to be the planks. It's going to be the planks that it took it out of. Okay, so let's just go to the house and lower. Actually, I'm not going to lower it. I'm just going to let them plant that, because food's going to be a problem once we get some of these beavers to adults. So I've got 2 pods running. So food's going to be an issue. So because the berries are not going to last. As you can see, I'm getting down the berries. The berries have a long grow cycle. It takes them a long time to grow. All right, so with this food, this fermenter, I have to tell it what I want it to ferment. And here, you just choose that product that we're growing here. And then once this ferments it, it can be eaten. Now let's go to storage, and we want to create a storage bin. And I'm going to put it on this side here. This is storage. And then when you click on storage, you can tell it what storage you want to put in that storage. So in this case, we're going to want the raw product. We need a place to put the actual raw product. And then we need a place to put the cooked product. So we'll put another warehouse next to it. like this. And then we'll tell it to put the cooked product, the fermented ones, in there. Now you probably, I don't play with the sound. You probably noticed that I don't have the sound on. That might be driving some of you nuts. Let me see if I can get this. I don't usually play games with the sound on when I'm talking, but I can go to that and change that sound here. I do have it on 11%. You can hear it now a little bit. There we go. I'm going to resume the game. So you can hear it now a little bit. So that's really it. So now, right now, I've run out of food up here. See, I've run out of berries. Oh, a couple more berries. But the thing is, I'm using those berries to get these breeding pods going. So if I don't have berries, the breeding process stops and I don't get new beavers. And the beavers in this game die of old age. So if you don't make more beavers, your population will die of old age. All right, so we've got 108 points to spend on the science. And as I was saying, we've got to unlock this forester. So we're going to unlock that. So now we can build it. And we're going to need to put it somewhere where there's green. And let me see here. I'm just trying to, I guess I could just put it up here. Because that's a lot of green up here. And I'll be able to expand that green area with the leaves, like I said. I've got to make a connection to the... So you got to connect it with the road. And then what this forester will do is it will plant trees. So you go to your trees, and what I do is I like the oak trees, and I just like planting the food. You just tell it to replant now its range, the forester range. Just look, when you click on the forester, just look at what the range is on this thing. So you can really plant them all in this green area. All right. And probably we want to make sure that we cover this here. All right. So when that building gets constructed and a worker goes in there, that worker will start planting trees for me. And then those trees will grow and I'll be able to cut them down. And this way I have future logs that I need to run my city. All right, so this still has a worker. This doesn't have a worker. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we can't really do more breeding pods right now, only because we've used up and we got no food right now. That's the problem we've got, is we're at 0 food because the beavers are eating the berries, but the berries are also needed for so right now I've got 0 food. So I've got to make sure that this farm starts doing what it's supposed to do. These are only so I probably should have started growing this farm sooner. So they're only at 70% growth. When I click on these, 71%. So we've got at least another day of waiting for those to grow. So that means that we're going to be reliant on these berries. And some of these berries are only at 73%, 50%, 34%, 11%. So you've got to be cautious here when you build your custom map, that you give yourself enough food. I deliberately made this so that it was going to be hard for us, so that we would run into food issues early on and run into wood issues early on. And you can see now they're running around with these things above their heads because they're all upset that they don't have any food. Let me just see here. So we've got that there. So we just gotta have to wait it out. We're just gonna have to wait it out until this. Okay, so we got some that are growing now. So now we want to prioritize the fermenter, and we need to prioritize the power, so that when these are getting picked, that the fermenter, because they like I said, they can't directly eat these. It has to be fermented first. and then it can be eaten. So we're going to see we got 0 food. And as this does its process, so now we've got 3 food, 1 food. Because what it is the beavers now eat twice the amount of food needed because they're hungry. So that's what you got to watch out for, is when they're in the hungry state, they eat your food quick. So this one fermenter might not be enough to keep them alive. They might die of starvation. So I'm going to have to put another fermenter in and another power wheel to get those going here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize. I'm in a drought right now. That's why you see the water going down, is the drought's happening. But I got a buffer because of the way I made the water. So these pumps will dry this out because there's no water coming out now because I'm in a drought. So when you get your city larger, this little water reservoir will dry itself out, and I won't be able to pump water out of this river anymore because it will be dry during the drought. And you can see here, this side of my food field is being affected by the drought. And my incubators are now telling me there's no products to get those going because I've got no berries for them. So the drought really hurts your process here. So let's get this going here. We got to get food in these guys' bellies. Food in the bellies. And we got to prioritize. We got to right click on these and prioritize that these get built, not only get built, prioritized, but get beavers in there to work those buildings as a priority. Because right now it's the food that I'm having problem with. Yeah, everything's turning gray because of the drought. All right, so I don't need this guy going, so I'm going to actually pause the inventor. So I pause that, and that frees up that beaver. Okay, I don't have anybody in those buildings because right now my priority is to keep. Oh, I got to tell this building what I want it to ferment. Okay, there you go. And I just got to make sure that our wood guys. Okay, so our lumberjacks need to be prioritized. Lumberjack, you got to have wood. I mean, that's the thing, is for you got to have the wood. So those got to be priority. I guess right now I can't really not prioritize. I guess I don't have to prioritize these gatherers. I'm going to unprioritize the gatherers because there's no berries to pick. So maybe they'll move to a more lucrative spot where I need them. Like right now I can't build this power wheel only because I don't have the logs. And that was because the lumber guys weren't really being prioritized. So now they are. All right. So my builders are down. So I've only got 1 builder now. And as you can see over here in the informational, where it tells you the 4, what their status is, what their happy status is, it tells you died of old age, has grown up, was born, died of old age. So you'll see that your beavers have a life cycle. I mean, it's really that. I mean, we're actually looking pretty good here. I didn't have anybody die of hunger yet, which is good. I just don't have enough farmers to. This is a lot. I've only got 2 farmers. This is one. So right now I'm relying on these 2 farmers to get the products here. I don't know why this one is not running. Why is that not being built? See, right now I'm at 12 beavers and 2 that are in the breeders. I knew that was going to happen because that's my problem I got right now. Is I don't have enough. I don't have enough beavers to make this work. So let me see here. That's fermented. They don't have any in there. All right. And these storage facilities are empty. So and I'm at -5 up here. It's telling me -5 right now to happiness because people are starving. Well, it looks like this here. All right. Gotta get that running there. So I think what I'm going to need to do is create another farm. Because they're not getting enough of these things farmed to get them down to the food. I mean, the food, this one's full. This one's got 11 out of 24. This one has 1 out of 24 of the products needed to cook. So I'm just waiting on that. Okay, now I'm down to 9. I'm down to 9 adults and 2 children. Oh, because they died of hunger. Died of hunger, died of hunger, died of hunger. But yet, I've got... let's prioritize these again. All right. Let's prioritize these again, because I got berries now that they can eat. This, I'm down to 1 farmer there. This requires 2. All right. So I've got to unprioritize something here. Yeah, I got no builders now because everybody's dying. I guess I can unprioritize the lumber because I got 40 lumber. We'll unprioritize them and get these guys picking berries again. I mean, it's a dance. It's a weave and dance. I mean, that's the thing I knew I was going to have food issues early on because of the way I built the map. And it looks like I've got plenty of water. I just don't have the food, and I'm not really sure why these guys are getting the food timely. I mean, I've got the gatherers going. They're going. There's plenty of berries available for them to pick. I've got the guy picking in the farm. And I got these guys that are fermenting the food. But yet, okay, now I finally got 3, 2, 1. I got plenty of water. Okay, now I'm getting up there in the food. Okay, now the food's starting to get into positives. Now that I've got not so many people starving. Because when they're in the starving mode, they eat like double, triple the food that you can make. So it really... You just don't want them to get into that state because then you're just trying to do catch up on the food. And right now I can't breed any more beavers because they're eating the berries because of their food shortage. They're eating the berries quicker than they can dump them into the breeding thing. Yeah. But this should settle itself out. Now that person became an adult. So now I've got 10 beavers available to me. So it looks like I got two farmers now. All right. This is still, my goodness. This is it's taking forever for that guy to cook the food here. This guy. Maybe I should have gone with the first food crop. I mean, it's just that this first one here, they can directly eat it. I'm going to put it right here. They can directly eat it. It's just it doesn't really feed them all that well. If you can get the fermenting process going and really get these things going, then that's the best bang for your buck. So now I've got 2 of these fermenters going. I finally got this power thing built. And so now we're ready to really make some food. I should be starting to have a surplus of food. What the hell? You ran in there for a second and okay, I was gonna say they ran in there for a second and now they're not. So now I should be able to. So yeah, now I'm at 45 food. So now my beavers should not be eating the berries. those berries will now go into the they're going to go into the incubated breeding. I'm going to put a couple more breeding pods down. I'm going to put a bunch of them down because I need to get my population up. But now, because I've finally got the food process somewhat under control, I think I got enough. I'm not up to 73 now. Now I've got my legs underneath me with getting the food going. I should be able to now bump my population up by breeding all of these incubators all at once. I've got plenty of wood. I got plenty of water. I got plenty of food now. I've got 9 adult beavers, and then I'm breeding more beavers. So that seems to be, that hunger thing seems to be fixed. So as I was saying before, let me see if I can unlock. It's 105. Let me unpause that. I don't think I got a beaver to put in there. But what I was saying before about this here is if you can unlock the levy, and I want to do that before I end this video so that you can see that. Let me see where I can pull a guy out of. Oh, I got 81 food. Alright, I'm going to pull a guy out of this real quick. I'm going to pull the guy out of this one. I'm going to minimize that process. Okay, so now I've got a person back in the science building. And I just need to get him up to 120 so I can show you this. So this levy to unlock it, science point, is 120. So that shouldn't be long. And then I don't think, I need to unlock the water pump. And I'm going to need to unlock the stairs. So those are the things you need to unlock to make the water, the water little catchy that you need so that you can start making other areas green. So I'm going to be right there at 120 really shortly here. So let's go to the landscaping, go to the levy. The dam has a gap on the top of it where water will pour out of it. That's why we're not going to use the dam, because the levy's more of a just a block basically. So we just gotta wait. Okay, there we go. So now we can unlock it. So what we want to do is we want to put it, and that's it. That's all you do is you build this square. And then what you do is you take this water pump, and I have enough points to unlock it, and you put it right here so it dumps water in this hole. And then what you do is you put these stairs, these wooden stairs, up there so that the beavers can get into the water pump, and then you run those stairs back to with a road. So what will happen is the beaver will work the water pump and dump water into this hole. But he does it at a rate that the ground absorbs it as fast as they can dump it. But it will make all of this green. All this area will become green. So that's how you green the area for this faction, is you create these things with the levees and put your water pump on top of it. And I don't have 250 points to unlock this, but I did want to show you that's how you would do it. Right now, I'm not having a food issue, water issue. This is going to be smooth sailing for here because now I got my feet underneath me and I've got the key buildings available. But that's really it, folks. I just wanted to show you from building your own map, your own scenario, making it hard, and understanding the mechanics of the game. This game is really fun. And then you can really unlock things in the future. You get robot factories, robot assemblies, the charging stations needed for the robot. Then you've got this number cruncher thing that gives you science points. And then you've got the well-being side of it. So right now, we probably should have done this before now. But you put some fire pits down because that increases happiness. It gives them something to do. So the well-being items under the well-being allows this number, this 6 number, to go up in happiness. So you got all sorts of things you can build to make them happy. Oh, I should put a teeth grinder in. The teeth grinder, I always put it near my lumber guys because they're the ones that need it the most. They grind, and I got no people in those lumber huts yet because I've prioritized them in another way. Because I still only have 8 adult beavers, and I'm still only got 2 children brewing, and I think that's because I've got no builders. I can't build anything because I don't have enough. So I think what I want to do is I just got to wait for those 2 beavers to be born, and then the population will start to grow. That's what you're going to find is you're going to have lack of beavers early on. You got to get them, when they die, it's a pain in the butt because then you got to rebreed them and get them back in population growth so that you can start doing things again. So right now I've got 3 that beavers that are, it looks like that's brewing in the, see it says I've got 3 children that are going. All right, well that's it, folks. I just want to put your eyes on the product. Again, it's called Timberborn. I really recommend it. Thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.